the last LinkedIn training you'll ever need, presented by Monica Ferrer, hosted by TLR Co-working, sharing, thriving, and laughing together.
The customers actually come from a social network called LinkedIn that she knows how to use very, very, very well, producing content for it and whatnot. So without any further ado, big applause for Monica Ferrer.
Thank you. You are about to watch my recent presentation at the incredible TLR co-working space in Malaga, where I dive into the vital role that LinkedIn plays in boosting your career and driving sales. If you're looking for a personalized support or a one-on-one consultation, feel free to go ahead and visit my LinkedIn profile or directly my website. I'm also available at this moment for speaking events. Now the only thing left to do is to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video.
Okay, so thank you, Ben, for the invitation. I was going to pretend that you invited me to give the pitch and it was not me who proposed, but you screwed me over. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah, that's all right. So thanks for the invitation that you didn't extend to me. Just kidding. And thank you all for being here today. I know LinkedIn sometimes can be a bit weird to talk about or like cringe, work, boring. We're going to try and make it as funny as possible today. And this is actually great practice for me because for this year, one of my missions is to start doing some public speaking and start selling this kind of training. So this is a perfect training for me to test it. And please bear with me because it's the first time I'm doing a public speaking. So thank you. So if I make any mistakes, don't take that into account. Now I'm going to talk a bit about myself because that's why I already asked for your apologies. A bit more about myself, right? Because loads of you don't know anything about me. I'm Monica Ferrer, as Ben already introduced me. I'm a big Friends fan. That's why I always have Phoebe and Rachel with me. I'm a proud dog mother to Cactus, who some of you have already met. She's like a half dog, half horse, because she's very big. And I'm also dyslexic. So if anyone else is dyslexic here tonight, nice to meet you. And if you're not, now you'll understand why there's only pictures in the presentation and slightly, I think, like 2 words actually written down. But now, aside of the fun facts that I just shared. I'm just going to come here then. Oh, fuck. Seriously? Oops. Perfect. I'm going to try this, but the sun is on my face, but let's try. So now for more of a formal presentation. As Ben said, I used to be a lawyer. I never went to court. I was more of a corporate kind of lawyer. So like assessing software companies, IT companies, etc. That's actually a picture of me on my last day as a lawyer as I was exiting the offices. And around 2 years ago, I decided to quit and started a freelancing adventure, learned about copywriting and started my services. And to find clients, I naturally turned to LinkedIn just because I thought that that was the best network to actually find clients. During these past 2 years, I've grown from 500 contacts or followers to more than 5K followers at the moment in around 18 months since I started actually posting. And these are all my impressions and engagement and fancy like metrics. But what I prefer to look at is at the fact that I've gone from having 0 clients and a 0 amount of money every month to more than 20, almost all happy clients. There's always one that's not happy. And more than 8K monthly recurring revenue that almost all comes from LinkedIn. So that's not just to show off, but more to prove that LinkedIn is actually a place where you can make money. And I'm the proof myself, and my clients are also the proof of that. So now, yes, LinkedIn. I hope you're ready for it. I'm going to start this by asking you all to please stand up for a second. And now I'm going to ask everyone that does not have a LinkedIn account to sit down. I don't know her name, but she should be sitting down. Does she have a LinkedIn account? Okay, so we all have a LinkedIn account, except the baby and the dog. That's all right. Now I'm going to ask anyone who has not opened their LinkedIn account in the last month to just check it, to sit down. You haven't opened the network in a month? Some doubts. Okay, no, you can sit down. It's okay. What about in the last week, maybe? No one's sitting down. Impressive. And now we're going to switch the question, and I'm going to be, who has published content in the last month? If you did not publish content, sorry, I might have not been clear. So whoever didn't post content has to sit down. So only those who did, stand up. Your own, we're going to say. Or is it your company? Then yes, probably. Okay, so we've reduced a lot. We said the last month, the last week. So now in the last 24 hours, you have to sit down, you don't count. So only one person standing up for the last 24 hours. That's all right. Now you can also sit down. Thank you. So this is just to prove a bit the stats that I actually shared with all of you in the teaser, right? And it's the fact that LinkedIn has more than 1,000 million users at the moment, all of them super active. As we saw, almost no one sat down when I asked if you've used it in the last month, except one person who had slight doubts. So that's all right. I can still prove my point. And then when we started looking at who is actually doing content on LinkedIn, we saw that it reduced a lot, right? So this is a way to prove that LinkedIn has a lot of potential because loads of people use it, loads of people are on it, but not a lot of people are actually creating content on it. All of this to say that LinkedIn is a gold mine, okay? Used correctly, you can actually dig gold out of it. And today I'm going to teach you how to do that. LinkedIn can be used in two very different ways. One is a way in which you just hang your medals, you share your honors and your awards and how good you are, or you can be using it in an active way that brings money to you. This training is for the people who believe in the second way and for the people who want to use it in the second way. And now, yes, without further ado, we're going to start with the meat of the training, right? First, we're going to talk about the profile. And yes, Snoop Dogg does have a LinkedIn profile. This is not a fake. He created it last year, and in only 24 hours, I think he had more than 100,000 followers. Never posted anything since. But we're not going to compare our profile to his. We're going to use mine because I think it's more relatable. First thing we're going to talk about in the profile is the picture, right? First question that I always get asked about the picture is if it needs to be professionally taken. My opinion is that it's not necessary. If you have a professional picture that's already taken, of course, use it on your LinkedIn account. It's gonna look better. But don't go now and spend 500 euros in a professional photo shoot just for your LinkedIn account. What does matter for your LinkedIn account profile picture is that it's from like half of your body up. I don't want like whole body pictures, and that's for a very simple reason, and it's that the picture is going to appear in a very small format. So if it's a whole body, like there's no way people are going to see your face, and we want people to be seeing your face and create the trust that we want to create with them. And you need to be looking directly into the camera just to make eye contact with the person that's actually seeing your profile picture, smiling. If you don't like showing your teeth, that's fine. Smile without showing your teeth, but smile, you know, like be welcoming to the person that's actually on your profile and that is visiting your profile or that's seeing your content. That's the most important thing. Second things that you can do to actually improve it, add corporate colors behind you like I have, but that's more of a shiny object that you can add, which is perfect if you do. Second thing of the profile that's important is the banner, okay? The banner, the most classical thing that we see in banners on profiles whenever I analyze them are actually skyline pictures, the typical picture of a desk with a coffee, notebook, and some pens. All of that is great. Like, I love photography too, but that's not going to help you make any money on the platform, right? So the three things I always recommend people to use on the banner are to put your contact information, as you see on the top. I don't know left from right, dyslexia, remember? But on that side, just because many people don't know how to look for your contact information in the profile. So let's make it as easy as possible for them to actually contact you, right? The second thing I always recommend to add is the mission statement or the value proposition that you give to your clients. So in my case, this sentence, like, if your content could bring inbound leads to your inbox every month, would you start writing today? The thing we're trying to accomplish with this sentence is to ignite the curiosity of the person visiting your profile, just for them to keep reading, right? That's the ultimate goal for this sentence. And then the third thing that you should add in the banner is the call to action, whatever the call to action you want them to do next. Book a call, follow me, subscribe to my newsletter, whatever that looks like. Third part of the profile is the headline, okay? The headline is a sentence that appears right under your name on your profile, or next to your name also every time you publish or every time you actually comment on someone's content. Therefore, the most important part of this section is actually not the entirety, but only the first 40 to 50 characters, because those are the ones that are going to be appearing repeatedly in all of your interactions on the network. And in these 40 to 50 characters, you need to be able to answer three questions. Who you're helping? I'm helping coaches and consultants. What are you helping them with? I'm helping them get leads and growth. And what makes your solution unique? My solution is unique because I do it through LinkedIn copy coaching. I'm not writing content from them. I'm coaching them to write their own content. And that's something that differentiates me from other competitors. You need to think about these three questions. So who you help, what you help them with, and what makes your solution unique, and try to summarize that in 40 to 50 characters. It's an exercise that for your LinkedIn, it's going to be helpful, but also for your business, it's going to be helpful, because being able to communicate this with the simplicity of only 40 to 50 characters is going to improve your sales pitch, and it's going to improve all of your communication in general, right? And then, of course, we can add everything else that you've done in your life. Everything from CEO to founder to whatever it is that you want to add. If you've been nominated to an award, anything, you can add it, but just put it at the end. And we put it at the end because of what I said, right? Whenever we interact, we want people to know what we can help them with and how, and that we do it by putting it at the beginning. Fourth part of the profile that's important, that's the featured section that is greatly forgotten on LinkedIn. Many people actually don't even know it exists, but it's one of the most convertible one. Convertible? Yeah, converting. Sorry. In this section, we can add many things. LinkedIn allows you to add links, articles, or posts that you've done. I think you can also add videos, pictures, whatever you want, right? So how do we use it? I would like to recommend everyone to use it to add their converting mechanisms, okay? If your business is based in a funnel or in a way of acquiring clients, to say it in another way, that consists of someone getting to know you, downloading a specific thing, or joining your email list, and then booking a call, what you need to add is the 3 links that will allow them to do these 3 steps, right? Because that way you ensure that anyone that's in the profile and that visits you, whatever the stage they are in, if they're ready to give you only the email, if they're only ready to download your free resource, or if they're already ready to book a call with you, they have the resources there to do whatever they're ready to do. And of course, make it a design, you know, like, I don't like this picture of myself, but it looks, it catches the attention. So like a bit, in the same sense as YouTube thumbnails are designed, you need to think a bit in the same way to design these parts of the LinkedIn profile. And then finally, there's loads of other sections on the profile that I'm not gonna run through all of them because we would be here until tomorrow. Of course, the most important part is to just have them updated. And the only two that I'm actually gonna mention is the About section. In the About section, like instinctively, we think we have to talk about ourselves, right? But I like to not talk about myself on the About, but about, again, what I can do for my clients. It's a perfect place to actually write a sales page instead of write about my medals. What I can do, how I can do it, how I can help them, that's gonna hook them much more than anything else. And then the recommendations, which I don't know if you are aware, but you can have recommendations on LinkedIn. And just as we don't book restaurants that don't have reviews on Google Reviews, people are starting to not hire professionals that don't have reviews online or that don't have social proof that can prove what they are capable of doing. So LinkedIn actually has an embedded system in which you can request people for recommendations. So I encourage you to do that. And you can ask not only clients for recommendations, but also like ex-colleagues or colleagues that you have at the moment, bosses that you've had. So just try and get some recommendations there, and it will help your profile look more professional, right? That's it for the profile. I'm gonna take a sip of water. And we're gonna talk about content now. Whenever I start talking about creating content on LinkedIn with someone that has not ever created, they always ask me these three questions, right? What do I write about? Like, I don't have anything to share. How the fuck do I write? And when do I share content? So let's start with the first one. In terms of what to talk about, many times we think that we don't have anything important to share, or that what we have to share, everyone already knows it. But even when I'm reading content, most of the things never look original or are never going to be 100% original, yet it's always nice to be reminded about them, right? You might have read about principles that you already read about 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago, but just reading them from a different perspective, from an idea of someone else that's kind of different, is already enriching. So bear that in mind. And I'm sure that you can find something that you can talk about and that will help others, right? And I like to put myself as an example here, because when I started creating content about copywriting, yet I was no copywriter. I had just started studying about copywriting. But still, I did think that some people who had never heard about the word copywriting were going to learn something about what copywriting is, right? And that journey, sharing all the journeys since the beginning, I'm sure helped someone that was even half a step behind me to take the step further. So try and look at it from the same perspective in whatever your field is, and I'm sure that you'll find something that can help others. And then in terms of finding ideas, which is also something that many people struggle with, I find that the search for ideas, it's better solved with one mindset shift, and it's simply that ideas are everywhere, right? Ideas can come to you when you're in nature, when you're traveling, you're walking, you're showering, sleeping, whatever you're doing. But ideas will never come when you're sitting in your phone, scrolling and just doing things mindlessly, right? So whenever you're looking for ideas and you're struggling to find one and you find yourself in this situation, just go back and do any of the other activities that I mentioned before, right? They are much more enjoyable and they will bring ideas. So just avoid scrolling to look for ideas and do activities that will help you much more. How to write, right? We all struggle and think that we are no writers and that we don't know how to write, but yet we all learn how to write in school. So actually it's a basic skill that we all have in a way. And writers at the end of the day are simply people who write every day. So if you do it every day, you become a writer directly. That's the only thing you have to do. And I'm going to share today 6 principles with you that are actually going to help you write content for social media. better. The first is the KISS principle, okay? Keep it simple, stupid. That's a copywriting principle that states that everything has to be simple, at least for copywriting purposes in social media, okay? Any complex concept can be simplified into simple, small concepts. So once you start with that, you can share very complex concepts in social media. I've had to use this principle many times, of course, working with lawyers and other complex concepts, right? So believe me, no concept is too complex to be simplified. The second one is to use a conversational tone of voice. How to do that is by simply trying to picture yourself having a conversation with the actual person that's reading the content, and just how you would go back and forth, right? Formulas like starting sentences with formulas like, and then we went, or, and so that, questions, all of that is going to make your copy sound much more bouncy, and it's going to make people like keep reading one sentence after the other. The third one is to keep an active tone of voice. Passive active tone of voice, the difference is basically like, the chair has been made by me, that would be passive. I made the chair, that would be active. It's clearly much simpler, right? When we write, I made the chair, than the chair was made by me. So just bear that in mind and try to activate any verb that you use in a passive way. The following one is to use positive language, right? Social media in general sometimes can be not so positive, but LinkedIn is different with that. LinkedIn is one of the only platforms, I'd say, where we almost have no haters. That's partly the reason why I chose to build an audience in this platform, because I like to avoid conflict. And LinkedIn is the perfect place to do that. So make sure to keep the positive vibe in the platform. Yes, answer questions, okay? Whenever we read a content that starts with a question, that we naturally will answer to it yes, like, thank God it's Friday, yes, right? So that will help us kind of agree with the person that we are reading the content from. And when we agree with someone, we like them. And what do we want to accomplish? People to like us, to then buy from us. So using this type of formulas will help us. And then the last one is to use storytelling. So the last whole of the TGIF was based on storytelling. I'm not going to get into it too much, but we humans are curious, and stories ignite our curiosity directly. So using stories, yes, also on LinkedIn, that's a B2B, that's business to business. So we have to stay professional. Don't buy into that. Stories, and specifically personal stories, are the ones that work best on LinkedIn. So we've seen the what to write, the how to write, and the when, right? Many people ask me, like, how much should I post? When should I post? You should post every day, all the time. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. I always answer the question in the same way. And that's when someone asks me, how much should I post? I ask them, how much time do you have to write? Like, whatever amount of posts you decide to share, it has to be sustainable and it has to stay consistent. And whenever you start posting, I'm never going to tell you write all the time, right? That's impossible. You're going to burn out and you're never going to do it again. And it's not worth it. So start small. I personally started posting 3 times per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Seemed natural, right? Just one day in between to rest, recover from the emotions. And then I increased to 5, and then I increased to 6. And now I'm posting 6 times per week. I'm not going to increase that. But yeah, choose the amount of times that feels right for you at the moment. And once you've built a habit, and once that becomes easy, build up to it, right? It's just like any other habit. And I'm sure you can get into the habit and stay in it consistently. So now we've seen the profile, we've seen the content, so we can dig the money. Can we already dig this gold mine that LinkedIn can be? No, I wish it was this easy, right? There is a whole universe of other things that have to be done to actually accomplish to have money on LinkedIn, or to build a business through LinkedIn, and that passes by mainly three things. One would be to engage with others. LinkedIn is a platform that values a lot of connections and networking, and the algorithm is actually built on that. So you are going to be favored and your content is going to be favored whenever you are engaging a lot with other people on the platform and whenever you manage to get engagement from others. And I always say the same, right? Engagement is a two-way street. And just like in real life, whenever you speak to someone, you expect an answer. So whenever someone comments on your profile or on your content, please go and answer them. First thing, it's just a matter of politeness. And second, try and build a network of people with whom you engage on a recurrent basis, right? The second thing of this universe of things that I could speak about for almost a week is to add people that you want to connect with on the network. Just having an optimized profile and putting content out there is not going to magically attract the people that we want to work with. If we want to work with a specific type of company, we have to go look for them and add them to our network. If we want to be invited to specific events to talk in the events, we have to go and look for the events and add them to our network. If we want to be invited to podcasts, similar, right? They are not going to come and find us, or maybe they will, but it's going to take much longer than if we actually go and find them ourselves. And then finally, the third thing is to start conversations with these people, because obviously, if we just add them to the network, but we don't start speaking with them, there's no way they're going to speak with us, or maybe they will, but again, it's going to take longer. So if we want results and we want them in a small amount of time, it's better if we are taking the actions. So yeah, basically the final takeaways that I wanted you to live with today, it's one, that LinkedIn can be a gold mine when used properly. And that to use it properly, you have to have the bare minimum that would be an optimized profile, which we saw at the beginning, and start creating some content consistently, whatever that looks like for you at the moment or the stage in which you are. And then step into, without any fear, into all this universe of other things that can be done for LinkedIn to get the maximum results out of them, right? So that's it from me. I don't know in terms of time or anything, because I haven't seen the small, but I'm all ears for your questions. And in the meantime, while we do the Q&A, I would be more than grateful if all of you could scan this QR code and answer to a small Google form. As I said, I'm pretending to launch this as a service, so I would like your feedback, and it would be very much appreciated. But yeah, any questions that anyone has, happy to answer them.
About timing, like perfect. I was too busy to waiter and bring drinks to people, so I actually forgot about timing myself, but you did perfectly well. Thank you so much, Monica. Before we get into Q&A, in case this is hard to scan, I just put the link also into the WhatsApp group, right? The TLR family WhatsApp group. So whoever doesn't have a question, you don't have an excuse, you have time now. It won't take you more than 2 or 3 minutes to fill out this short little form, and it will certainly help Monica for her future career and offering, right?
First of all, great talk. And I have to correct myself. Apparently, I liked the post yesterday on LinkedIn because Niels, I was in a meeting with Niels, and he told me that Kathy just posted something, and then I liked it. I didn't even remember. But my question is, LinkedIn works very well for you, it looks like. I always have a bit of a problem with LinkedIn because once I open LinkedIn, I don't know, I'm a bit allergic to bullshit. And my problem is, if I open LinkedIn, the first thing I see is bullshit, and I close it again. And it's really hard to overcome that. I've been struggling with that, and I would love to. I see the business value, but I'm just like, yeah, have this like, oh, I don't want to deal with all of this. So what would you recommend somebody like me that is a bit overwhelmed with all of this? Like, yesterday I did this, and just 2 days ago I did that, and yeah, to still like survive in this world.
Great question. It's true, LinkedIn sometimes it's full of bullshit, and I agree. I would recommend to clean your network. go into your contact list, eliminate anyone who's actually posting that bullshit, and you won't see them again. Anytime you see a post that you think it's bullshit, unfollow, or I don't like this content, you can simply put it and you will stop seeing that content. And then again, do the effort of looking for someone that you're actually interested in or that is posting content that you think is interesting, and follow them and see who they are following and try and trick the algorithm into showing you what you actually find of value. Does that make sense? Good. Anyone else?
I have two questions, if that's allowed. I think so. Yeah. So the first one, you went from 500 to 5,000 followers. Is that just by being active on LinkedIn? Because I don't think you can advertise on LinkedIn, right? Is that just your efforts putting into LinkedIn?
No, I did not advertise. Yes, you can advertise. There is LinkedIn ads. I did not advertise. Yet again, this is not only organic, meaning they didn't only follow me because of my content. I went out and I added people consistently through automations if they don't hear me, because it's forbidden. But yeah, through automations, you can simply add people, because at the end of the day, anyone that you have as a connection is going to be a follower. So, and then also I did have some organic growth, of course, but how I managed to have a consistent growth, it's by not only getting people to following me organically, but also taking actions for them to connect with me. I don't know if you have a second.
I had a second one, and it popped up because of Philip, because and it's not bullshit, but it's more like the cringe effect I sometimes also have, is that now I think, are there also like trends in the way of writing? Because lately I see a lot like these posts with like this sort of cringy catchphrase, and then you just post like one alinea of like two sentences, and then you make a space, and then another one, and then another one, and then after a while it gets very cringe. So I understand Philip in that way, but is there a trend that you can also follow or you should follow?
I mean, absolutely. There is a lot of LinkedIn gurus. So if you follow them, you're going to end up writing like them. It actually happened to me for a while because obviously I was learning. So I was following all of the accounts that have the most amount of likes or comments or whatever, and they all write in this way that you're mentioning. It's true that it does work at some point, but whenever it becomes like, if you're asking me, like, should I write my content like that? You should try and like get inspired by it, but still insert your personality or your way of writing without following exactly the trend, right? I know what you're mentioning, posts like, today is my 29th birthday. This is what I've learned in my last 10 years or whatever. And then 10 things that they all go in the same order, and there is a staircase formatting. And then, yes, it is cringe. Does it work? Yes, especially if your network doesn't have or doesn't follow a lot of these cringy people who does that. And what is true is that you are maybe going to see a lot of people like this, but like your potential clients may not, because they're not following all the LinkedIn gurus and everyone that's writing about how to write on LinkedIn. So it can still work for you.
Brooke was first, right?
So I'm really hoping you don't find this question annoying, because I can imagine you get asked this a lot. So I've been trying to figure out for a long time now what is kind of like the ideal number of posts that you should post per week to get the maximum kind of exposure, right? Because I have noticed in many different occasions that if we post too many times per week, the overall kind of attention that your post gets drops significantly. I've also noticed that if you don't write for a long time and then you write your first post, that first post, no matter what you write, gets like a lot of attention. So I'm really hoping somebody like you with your experience can shed some light on the LinkedIn algorithm and what you think would be like the ideal frequency of writing.
Hacking the LinkedIn algorithm. Here we go.
Unfortunately, no, I do not have the hack, but I can answer to some of the questions, okay? Like how much not to post, never twice per day. Whenever it's more than one post in 24 hours, automatically reach is going to go down. So not a good idea if you're looking for reach. I've done that in the past when I'm looking for leads in the US. So if you're looking for your post to maybe not reach 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, but to reach the 500 contacts that you have in the US and that are your potential client, then yes. So it gets tricky. But in terms of reach, never twice per week. Twice per day, sorry. Whenever you stop and you go back, that's always gonna happen. So it's just like if you stay consistent, I would not say it's necessary to post more than 5 times per week for someone that's not content creator. So that's not trying to, like me, I'm trying to build my authority through my content. So it's different. Someone like you, that's not the case. Don't post more than 5 per week. Stay in the weekdays, but try one weekend day, because on weekends, what happens is less people create, but still people are there, or they can see it on Monday. So that can bring the reach up. And if you're at 5, it's gonna work. Like, yes, maybe in total you will have less reach, but it will still I mean, the total is gonna be the same reach, but each post is gonna have a less amount of reach. Never under 2. I mean, under 2, don't expect results. If you per week, if you do less than 2 posts per week, don't expect any results. I hope that answer. Like, I don't have the hack of the algorithm, but I hope that answers.
Right. So Philip had a question over there. I think Esteban was first, and there were a few more hands. Who else over there had a question? Exactly. I didn't see more hands over there. No, it was just me mentioning. Okay, and then Finn, you had a question as well, right?
Thanks, man. So my question is, you said that it took you around 18 months to start kind of exploiting all the content you created. I mean, to get money from that. So how difficult was in the beginning until you started a point where you realized, okay, I can monetize this, or I can do something with this? Because I guess in the beginning, when you start posting and you're not a frequent poster, maybe you would reach some people, but not all of your network and so on. So how was that? How long was that period in your particular case until you realize, okay, now I'm getting popular, let's say, on LinkedIn? I have more questions after this.
More? Let's start with this one. It was long enough.
It's a great question, because actually loads of people believe what you just said. And I'm actually going to say that you're actually wrong. Because my first 3 clients from LinkedIn organically, without me reaching out to them, came to me in the first month when I had 500 connections. And that was partly because I had a network that needed the services, partly because of beginner's luck. And then I didn't have a client for 6 months, right? So what I try to prove with this is that you don't need a big audience to have clients. You just imagine a room filled with 500 people. Like, that would get me very nervous to start with and would open a lot of possibilities, right? And only 500 people is already a lot. So start trying to monetize since the beginning, always, because as long as you have one person there that might be interested, it's already going to get the ball rolling and then bring more clients, and you're going to get social proof. So you're going to be able to share that social proof, and that will convince other people that are maybe in the fence. So that's the important thing. Then again, as I said, I got my first 3 clients with beginner's luck. When did the system of the universe of things start rolling by itself? After 1 year of doing it consistently. And not all the results came after 18 months, you know. This is an accumulation of authority and opportunities and people and everything.
But I don't like. I'm asking because one could start posting. In my case, for instance, if I would be doing this, wouldn't be for monetizing, but to make myself known to my network. And it could be a little bit frustrating if you publish continuously. And you don't get maybe comments or something back. So you would ask yourself, why am I doing this? I mean, what I'm getting from this, if you don't get any feedback whatsoever. So that was why my question was,
be ready to be frustrated. Whatever you do, whatever your goal is, get ready for it. And posts are gonna flop, and you're gonna be putting effort, and no one is gonna comment. Only your mom is gonna like it, and that's fine. It happened to me. It happened to all of us. You can go into the biggest creators, scroll all the way down, and you'll see those posts for them. Just be ready for that. In any case, whatever your strategy is, whatever your goal is. And if you want to start building awareness, that's perfect. Like, you can do that, and that way, whenever you want to monetize, it's gonna make your journey much easier, right? But still, like, even if you're not trying to monetize, try it, because you don't lose anything. You can start the sidekick without even putting a lot of effort into it. That's my recommendation.
Right, as Philip has a great memory, I'm going to go with Finn first.
Two questions. I'll ask the first one first. So when you were saying you build up the consistency of making a post every single day, do you just on the fly, on the day, okay, it's Monday, I need to come up with an idea, or like perhaps the beginning of the month, you have everything planned out?
I'd go mad otherwise. No, I plan everything. I used to do that. Wake up, try and write and post. Probably what I produced at least was quite shitty and not working. I do have a whole strategy that I know exactly what I post every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Friday, everything. I know the ideas that I have to come up with every month in advance. I plan the whole month ahead in terms of ideas in under 1 hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll explain my process because I think that's what you're kind of asking me. So, first thing I do is I think about ideas. I have my content pillars. I know what I want to accomplish every day. And I think about just ideas and I plan the whole month. The whole month is filled with ideas. Only that gives me peace of mind already. I'm like, oh, I have the whole month planned. I only have to write now. And then I go away. I sit down again, and that can be done in under 1 hour. I sit down on a different time, different mindset, different kind of Monica, and I just write. And when I mean write, is I'm vomiting ideas into my Notion space, literally. And then I stop. I don't edit. I don't think about call to actions. I don't think about designs. I don't think about anything else. Then I sit down at another day with another mindset, another kind of brain activated, and I think about designs. I think about editing. I think about call to actions, everything. And if I have time, I also schedule everything.
Well, this is the second question. So basically, I'm doing video adverts, motion graphics, and what I've decided, this is perfect timing. Like I could do behind the scenes of clients I've previously helped. So you've heard the expression killer versus filler. So I'm thinking of making a killer behind the scenes advert for myself, showing how I've worked with previous clients. But I'm thinking I might only be able to do like one a month. And my idea is I could consistently make one a month. But you're saying that I should be like, one every single day, but I could just write. But the thing is, if I have these killer adverts and then 20 posts before are just like writing, and then there's another killer advert, then 20 post writing, is that the right strategy? Because part of me thinks like I should just do one a month, and then when somebody clicks on my LinkedIn, they can just scroll through the 5 best previous videos that I've made.
In the meantime, have you all filled out the form already? No?
Thank you. I mean, it's a very good question. It's very hard to answer without knowing more about your business and what you want to accomplish with your LinkedIn, right? Is it the right strategy, one or the other? Depends. Are you trying to use LinkedIn only as a portfolio where people go there and see what you've done with your killer adverts? Or are you trying to use LinkedIn as something more where you can not only have your portfolio there, that's also going to be there, but you can also share personal stories, create an audience, build authority by sharing not only the killer adverts, but social proof, testimonials of what your clients have to say, even if they're in a written form or in a design form. So I would just try and think about exactly what are your goals, and we can discuss it further after if you'd like. But the strategy depends on the goals and also the time you have. So if you tell me, no, but I only have time to make the killer advert and I don't have time to write, then that's your strategy, right? So it depends a bit. I'm sorry, I don't have a full answer.
Right. It's actually two small questions. Number one, in terms of contacts, if I was to accept every single connect request that I got, I would probably also have 5,000 by now. But it's mainly like uninteresting people or like some, I don't know, somebody from somewhere that wants to sell me some kind of outsourcing service, which is fine, but like not really valuable for me. What is your take on that? Like, who do you accept? Who do you decline? Is it like in your role important to accept everyone and just to get every kind of connection, or like?
Yeah, that's a great question because we all have people adding us that have only interests on us or that we don't have any interest on. Definitely don't accept anyone that you're not interested in having in your connection, especially now that anyone can follow you on LinkedIn without having to be your connection. No matter the amount of connections you have, anyone can follow you. Who I accept is anyone that can be my client, of course, and then I really go and talk with them. And anyone who kind of is in the same industry or I think can bring something interesting to my network or I think I can learn from them or a profile that looks real and that doesn't look that's only here to sell to me. Those that send very automated messages that are only to sell, usually I reply to them and ask them not to do that. But that's just because I'm a defensor, you know, like you don't have to do that.
Give me another second. Oh, I forgot what I wanted to ask. Well, thank you. I guess it wasn't that important if I forgot it now.
It'll come up again. All right, so we got two more that I already know, and then so let's do three more, right? So there's one question still that you can like register yourself for.
Thank you. Monica, what is your opinion on like cold outreach or outbound? And if it's something that you do or something you're for, is there a strategy that you follow for that for like service-based business?
Go for it. I've done it, it works. Just make sure that's targeted, meaning you're not sending messages to everyone. Make sure to do it like a bit smart, right? Be aware that it's forbidden on LinkedIn to use automation, so be sure to use tools that are saved, proven that you're not going to get your account into any kind of trouble, because that has also happened to me, but you can work through it. And then, yeah, just build a really good strategy, targeted, think about who you're trying to attract, build a very small list at first and try and give them value. And then whoever answers, a strategy that works very good actually, we've been testing it for a while, is sending Loom videos after the first message. So whenever someone replies to the first message that you've sent automated and it's cold, and if they just reply, then you build something super personalized with a Loom video, like here's what we can do with you talking directly to that person, and that works magic. So first very automated outreach and then very personalized.
Awesome, Esteban. You like the microphone, don't you?
It's kind of a follow-up of the question I already did before. So how would you measure the success of your posting, of your content? I guess LinkedIn has a lot of tools for that. Are you using those? Are you using any extra? What do you recommend?
Yeah, to measure reach and growth of the account, LinkedIn does have tools and you can use them. You can compare your impressions and engagement for the last 7 days, 14, 28, 90, and 360 days, so 1 year. That's the data that LinkedIn is going to give you automatically. There are many tools that are going to give you much more data than that. One is Shield Analytics. Another one is Tapilo. Both of them work super good. I've tried them. Both of them use plugins that can get your account banned. So just be aware of that, because what happens is that you install a plugin into your Chrome, so they're extracting data consistently, and the algorithm thinks that you're a bot. Some people have no problem and are using it, like all the creators promote them online. I've gotten banned so many times I stopped using them. But it depends on your account. So try them. If you get banned, it's not so bad, right? You'll get the account bad. But just be aware that there is this risk. But the best ones, and I've used them and I wish I could still use them, Shield and Tapilo.
Right. One last question. Adriana.
Just a silly question, and it might be against all your speech, but sorry about that, but I'm just curious because I don't want to be a content creator or anything. I just want to have a nice profile just in case I want to change my company and just to, yeah, have a good thing, but not to be really active on it. Is it some way to do that, or do you need to actually be active on it?
I mean, as I said, LinkedIn can be used in many ways, and the way you want to use it for, it's perfectly valid too. What I would say then is just optimize your profile. That's the first part of the presentation I gave, right? Of course, some things are going to be different, like the value proposition, all of that. It's not going to be the same, but you can still be a brand ambassador for wherever you're working at. I don't know anything about your context, but you can still kind of share the brand's mission and the brand's value proposition in the banner and in your headline, etc. Or you can simply have it optimized for people to come and hire you after this experience that you're having right now, because companies don't last forever, and even if you're an employee, it doesn't mean you're going to stay there forever. So depending on what your goal is, LinkedIn can be used in many ways, and if you don't want to create content, that's fine. And it's probably what happens to many of the people who are employees, because they don't want to use it as this gold mine that I've portrayed today, right? And that's absolutely fine. Just optimize your profile, and that should be you. Philip.
Okay. A last short one. I hope it's short. In terms of sales funnel, I mean, you're using LinkedIn as a sales tool, and I guess you're having an impressive MRR. How do you stay motivated if you have like a full client list and maybe more contracts or clients already than you could actively handle, to still keep posting and be like, I need to attract more? This is also something I'm striving at the moment. I wouldn't even know what to do with those clients that I would acquire there, because I'm so full for the next couple of months. I mean, it's more of a scaling problem in the back, but like, how do you deal with that? And what does your process look like if you text like potential clients and they look interested and they respond to your personalized like Loom video or like the second message? What is kind of your sales funnel after that?
Yeah, that's more of a business question, but I'm happy to answer it. In terms of whenever I'm maxed out, because it happens, like this month, I can only take one more person. I'm maxed out, I cannot. Then my content strategy is going to vary, and instead of calling to action to hire me, I'm going to call to action to go into my waitlist because I'm maxed out. That works even better, because it's like, okay, she's fully booked. So people are actually booking her. So people are even going to be more interested. So being at your maximum capacity is actually going to help probably your content, because it's a perfect social proof, especially if it happens every month, right? So one of the strategies that I use actually to acquire clients is I only take 3 clients per month. I don't take more because I'm a solo business. I don't want to hire anyone. And that's just how my business is envisioned in my head. So anytime I reach 3, and sometimes it happens in the first week, and then it's perfect because I have whole 3 weeks of publishing just saying like, I'm maxed out, please wait list, and that creates much more engagement and much more like interest than, yeah, I still have 3 spots. Hey, do you want one of my spots? No. So that's how I manage it internally. I have my business plan. I know I can take 3 clients, and then I just have a wait list of people.
Super cool. Very good answer. Love that one, Monica. Thank you so much. It all sounds like an awful lot of work I just want to hear one number to this question. How much percentage of your time goes into creating content for LinkedIn, taking care of your profile? Your time, if you work 100% a week, how many percent of that time goes into LinkedIn? Your content. No, just yours. Just yours. Percentage. All right. Okay. Awesome. Wow. Okay. All right. So wow, if it's a 40 hours a week, that would like be what, 5%, 5 to 10. Wow. All right. Okay. Right. Well, now you finally blow my mind at least. So thank you very much. Huge applause for Monica.
If you are still here, you are a true champion. Also, of course, if you enjoyed it and you would like to learn some more about what LinkedIn can do for you, make sure to check out my profile. That's Monica Ferrer Alberti in LinkedIn, or go ahead and just check my website at mecdigital.ao. Also, of course, if you like the space, be sure to check out the TLR co-working. It is truly the best co-working space you can find in Malaga. That's it from me. Thanks.